Okay, welcome to another live stream. We're going back to a bit of development. Just found that in order to try and speed up the processing of the geopolitical moves, I'm finding that if I need to flip between different paint.net files, that it's making it a little bit difficult in terms of time management. So I need to speed that up a little bit. So what I'd like to do is try to work out whether I can introduce a movement layer to the geopolitical map. So what that means is that I can create a layer that's called movement, and then I can fade it. I can change the opacity, and I can fade it so that it's not always present. It'll be cut. It'll be deleted from the map as it's going live. So as we process through, it can be removed from the map. So I think it's going to be a reasonably flexible situation. So I'm going to apply that and see how we go. So the first thing I'm going to do, it's going to be maybe boring for some people to watch, but anyway, I'm going to just show what I'm intending to do. So the traditional movement cards that I've created, I know that this is stepping away a little bit from the idea of it being purely a card game and me trying to replicate a card game during a live stream. I think that I need to accept that it's not going to be possible to do that without making some specific, some live stream specific changes. So anyway, I'm going to delete that. And now I'm not sure if you can see, but I've created these smaller ones here. Now I'm just going to replicate. Now I know that there's a sort of shortcut for some of these things. All right. Now I'm still using the alphabet up the top. I mean, I may as well. Maybe that I don't need that functionality, but purely be able to, if I want to introduce some sort of grid reference kind of deal, I can always go back and introduce it later on. Okay, so now what we've got here is a run of 1. Now I'm going to go along here, copy that, go back, and then, oops, alright. Alright, that should do for the moment. Let's just put some numbers in. Okay. Okay, so we've got 23, but I think we need more. How many more? I'm not exactly sure of. So I'm going to zoom in. Of course, I'm in the process of breaking Microsoft Excel every single time I do some of these changes. I'm asking quite a bit of it. So what are we doing? Okay, sorry. So going across all the way. Oops. Back again. Alright, so copying that. Alright, so we're up to 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Now I've got a feeling that it won't accept more than 27. So we're just going to delete those ones. Now, each of these little cards, so I'll just go and look at these little cards individually, and you can see if I F9, each of them changes randomly. So we've got a serial number, we've got the name. I can't zoom in. I can. There we go. I'm going to F9 again, and you can see that it changes. So the reason that I've got this is to do the following. So I'm just going to zoom in. Sorry, I'm going to copy this now. Okay, so I'm grabbing that all the way across, all the way up. Then I'm going to copy that, and now I'm going into my paint file. Oops, now fog of war. Maybe I should do this on a live map. That might be a good idea. Anyway, so I'm going to now paste that layer over the top or onto this map. Now it takes time, as you can see. Okay, so keep canvas size. Look, I'm not too concerned. I'm just going to chuck it in there. Okay, so this movement layer, as you can see, I've just chucked it in, and as you can see, it's covered the entire map wherever it's been pasted. So it's pasted over pretty much all of the revealed territory. So just going to go in, zoom in, for example, and I'm going to, well, I'll grab the eraser tool, and then I'm going to switch that to 300. Okay, so you can see it's quite a block. Now I'm going to delete, and as you can see, it's quite good at deleting wholesale. Now I know that that's not perfect, but what I've just done in one quick and easy way is to apply a movement, a random movement, Well, alright, so when people are going to be moving into some of these territories, I need to determine if there's an encounter or if there's no encounter. So that's the objective of what I'm trying to do. Now, what I was doing is I was having to jump back and forward. I was having to jump back and forward into different files in order to determine if there was a... Now, alright, sorry. The size of the eraser tool that I'm using is actually reducing the chances of there being an encounter a little bit too extreme. Now, it's alright for large scale areas, but not necessarily for what I'm wanting to do with some of the smaller areas. So I'm just going to be rough and try to reveal just the areas that are alright, we'll zoom back out again. Alright, so you can see there's a bucket load of places that need to be done. I might do this offline. XY coordinates, click that off. Province name, place tokens, geo tokens. I'll leave geo tokens. Alright, so as you can see, it's populated quite a bit. Now it's just annoying me that I'm going to do this massive stroke through and just delete all of them from around the outside of it. Alright, so now I've got a block in the center. Now I'm going to zoom in. Oops, zoom in too much. Now I'm going to do like large block delete. Not perfect, but anyway, what we're doing is making it so that I can very quickly determine whether there are encounters or not in these areas. So just going through okay. Rightio. Excuse me. Alright, now I'm just going to get down into these areas here. Reduce the size of the eraser tool down to maybe 100. And as you can as you can see, in order to determine whether an area has an encounter or not, it will be just a matter of going in and using the eraser on the fog of war, revealing the fog of war, the territory underneath, and then just clicking on the layer and clicking on the movement layer, and that should be enough to determine whether there's a encounter or not. Now look, the size of this island, for example, it's a pretty small island. The size of the movement panels is still pretty big. Not really sure of if there's anything at all that I can do about that. Yeah, not really sure if there's anything I can do about that. I mean, look, it just came to me like when I was trying to work out how to be more efficient with the geopolitical moves. Now, this may not work, and I can go back to the original idea of using the cards off screen, as I've already done, as I've already demonstrated. But this may speed it up a little bit. We'll see. Now, I'm going to be, to be fair to everybody, it's going to have to be, I'll have to use this same technique on all of the provinces. So yeah, everyone's basically got the same playing field. Look, the other thing is that, I mean, I've been maybe a bit too concerned about perception, about people concerned that I may show favoritism to a particular geopolitical move. I'm not really concerned. It's really, I don't want to be accused. I don't want anybody else to be accused. It's not just about me. If somebody else is processing geopolitical moves, somebody not me, then I need to kind of protect them from the accusation. So by making it so that there's a card to be drawn. I mean, look, in a perfect world, we don't have COVID, we don't have lockdowns, we don't have to worry about having the geopolitical processed in this way. I want this to be live stream. I don't want this to be live stream. I want it to be face to face, free form, in costume, in character. And yes, it's a board game in a in character environment, but trying to process geopolitical in a way that can be recorded, in a way that can be compatible. Everyone understands how to process the moves equally. Anyway, I'm not sure if I'm rambling or not. I should just maybe keep my mouth shut and just get the job done. Me just talking for the sake of talking isn't necessary. It's not really like I'm expecting people to be taking a huge amount of notice of what I'm doing. at least at this point, at least at this time. All right. Looking good. So yeah, it's a pain in the neck for me to kind of do this. Can't think of any other way to do it aside from maybe creating in the layer. It's double handling. You know, when I put the fog of war over the entire map and then have to process, well, I'm processing the track, consecrated track, you know, once. Well, in this case, I kind of have to do it a second time. Although, gonna undo that. Alright. Undo that. And now I'm going to zoom in on somewhere. Alright, I'm going to save. Oops. Not yet. Alright, I used 500, I think. Now let's try 550. Or 600. Alright, so 600 over the top of, I think these are hamlets. So 600 on a hamlet. I'll try 400 on a farm. Oh, 350 on a farm. All right, that's cool. All right, so all right, look, we'll just test it out. I'm just going to do this one. I'm going to save that. I mean, it's in its own separate layer. If it doesn't work, I can always restore back. Use the existing movement card system. So it's not really a problem there. So save that. Wrong one. I'm going to check something. So the campaign folder. Okay. All right. That was all right. So it looks like I've done it on the wrong one, which is great and all, but I should be able to close that. Open recent. Go to that go to that layer. But before I do that, just gonna check that we can't just simply. Oh, again. All right. Um, okay, campaign folder. Towns. There are only 5 stories. Right, okay, so that's where I've stuck it. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so now I should be able to double click on that. Now, here we go. Alright, so I'm going to create new layer called movement on the day 1 map. And I'm going to select all, cut, and then paste into day one map. Go back to the original one there, delete the movement layer, and then close that down. And save that. Okay, so what I was just trying to do is what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make it so that I don't automatically apply this to every single one of them. I just saw a problem. So down here we've got this circle. Need to verify where that circle is. The circle seems to be on the fog of war layer, I think. It kind of looks like it's on the fog of war layer. So that's supposed to be, this circle is supposed to be on the strategies layer. So alright, so we've got black, we've got 200, maybe less than that. Let's just go back to say 50. We go to the fog of war layer and then paint black over the top of that circle. And then I should be able to erase that from the fog of war. Oops, we'll go down to 20. Okay. So, fog of war enabled, movement. Okay, and there we go. So, unfortunately, sometimes I use the wrong layer. So, sorry, I just picked up on that. So, it's just really a simple matter of checking it out and doing it properly. Anyway, so alright, we're going to try that out. No need for me to keep everyone on the live stream that is boring about, you know, the back end. And I thought that sorry, there's going to be some development live streams. It's just inevitable. There's going to be some things that need to be changed. So I'm going to be putting those into a separate playlist so that people don't need to look at those things unless they're interested in the way they've created the development and, you know, ongoing modifications and things like that. So yeah, anyway, thanks for joining us. If you've got any questions, feel free to send a message, give me a call, and if people want more information than that, then they can look at renegadelarp.com and they can see everything.